jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time.
Now there he go, 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 there he... I could have explained. Out of any Roblox studio, Shovelware Studios is by far one of my favorite studios of all time. As this studio tries different genres, well, mainly obbies, but it also tries simulators, roleplays, tycoons, and much more. There's a lot to like about this group of making quality that most Roblox game designers can't replicate. I'm pretty looking forward for this video because this series of games holds a very special place in my heart. But however, before I get to the ranking, I should clarify that I have not played every Shovelware's games. So, oopsies, the video is clickbait now. Oops. Though, you can't really blame me with this one because some of the games I try to find are not there. Like, I try to find the games, but some of them are just not there anymore because, well, copyright issues. But I did play a majority of the game library, but even then, we're just going to have to stick with it. And these are the games I'm showing right here are not going to be mentioned in the video. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, Michael here. I interrupt this video for an important announcement. Have you subscribed and liked the channel yet? Because if you don't, there is going to be consequences of your actions. Good? Well then, enjoy the rest of the video then.
Disappointment in the game of life.
Out of any Shovelware's library, if you ask me, Ditch the School to Get Rich is my least favorite. Not that I hate Die of the Wimpy Kid, absolutely not. I mean, come on, I can't stay mad at this franchise. But I don't know with this game. I don't think the high sonic energy level speed fits with Die of the Wimpy Kid that well. For Captain Underpants, it works so well because Captain Underpants' premise is incredibly goofy, so it works well with its narrative. While Die of the Wimpy Kid, I mean, yeah, there are silly moments the Die of the Wimpy Kid has, but that's because that Grave Heavily is just being a stubborn kid, always getting himself into situations of his own self-ego because he thinks that the world evolves around him, which bites him in the back that causes him to get in much hot water. But here, it doesn't work aesthetically. Die of the Wimpy Kid is more like a slice of life type and not really a Comedy Central skit, if you get what I mean. Also, some of the reference and pop culture just comes out of nowhere for no reason, and it just doesn't fit in with the vibe of Die of the Wimpy Kid. I mean, it has the dab, it has fidget spinner, it has the Emoji Movie, you know, from the year 2017. Things you would find funny back then, but not funny right now. Like, come on, we're in the year 2025 now. Things have severely shifted. However, not everything in this game is bad, and I wouldn't call it a bad game actually. I will say that the gameplay is fun, particularly with the glide pod. It's just that there's already another school obby that does the setting much better than this. But even all said and done, I want to clarify that again, it's not a bad game by any means. It's an alright game, but something has to be at the bottom of the list when I was like making this list. And unfortunately, Ditch the School to Get Rich has to sit at the bottom. But even then, it doesn't mean it's a bad game by any standard. It's just that it is my personal least favorite.
Look out! Here comes!
Super Slime Simulator is also okay. I do like the animations and I do like how they make the wildlife feel productive and active. And I also love the attention to the detail that the humans are just looking in their phones and not paying attention. There's a giant blob eating the yard!
Well, actually,
What? What is it, Shrek?
that would be a
Animatronic.
Oh.
But that's about it for me. Other than the mini games, there's nothing really much to do with this game. It's a pretty typical simulator game with gameplay, and man, I don't have all the time to go big and chunky, but I can't exactly be too hard on this game. At the time, they got PTSD treatment of fear of copyright, so they decided to fill in the gaps of finding their own original IPs by making Super Slime Simulator. Yeah, I mean, it fills in the gaps for Shovelware Studios. I may not care for Care Bears, which I did not grow up watching Care Bears when I was a kid, but what I never expect is Shovelware making a licensed game. So of course I got curious, so I played the game, and you know what, it's a pretty fun and cute game. I liked some of the characters, I liked the dynamics, and the gameplay wise is kind of similar to Super Mario 64 in a way. Especially with that slide mechanic. And I do like some of the cutscenes, and yep, it's just kind of like an adventure game, pretty muchly. This game is pretty passable. Just to put my bias aside, this game is, for what it is actually a pretty okay game. I enjoyed it, it's cute, all fairness. I really enjoy with this one because the plot is that the minions goes on strike because Guru did not give them any bananas, but they praised Brat for the bananas which he offered them so he could get an advantage to take over the world. It's more interesting than the movie it's based on. I also really love a lot of the creative sets and the twists and turns throughout the game. I really love like the skyscraper part, and also at the end Brad just got like demolished. It's just hilarious. It's a fun game and all, but thing is that there's already another Despicable Me game that completely overshadowed this game, which the reason why this game is not ranked high on the list, but even then, as its own, it's okay, and it stands on perfectly fine. It's an enjoyable, alright time. This one is bizarre. It's literally an alternative timeline of chick hits sworn revenge on McQueen. You just have to escape from the prison and then stop chick hits to finish the finish line. But then Owen Wilson popped out of McQueen's eyes with the Sonic Adventure pose cover and once again stopped chick hits and ultimately winning the game. This game's plot is so ridiculous and I'm in awe for it. Oh yeah,
If you're going hard enough left, you'll find.
well, rest in peace. Sorry, man. I also love that this movie is based on from the third film, well, released around this time, but for some reason, it's more like a precursor to the first Cars film. In fact, they were even self-aware about it because Jack Storm was there, but he just wasn't in the race. Which actually is a trend. Now I think about it, all these licensed games Shovelware made are all made around the time, well, 2017, newest kid on the block, and try to copy, and then they'll try to fantasize their own stories. I guess you could call it perfect timing.
Am I really gonna defile this grave for money? Of course I am!
It's really just a roleplay game with some neat designs to resemble Hollywood in a way, by also showing the trolley, and also a movie theater which you could go through into, and lore. Wow, this studio really has a long history, I guess, and also a lot of like the concept art. That's really cool to see. Oh yeah, they have public domain Steamboat Willie. Additionally, I would like to add on that every time you play the recent game, or say like Shuck and Screw Obby, after you completed it, you get one of the skins of the characters. So in that way, it just feels so much more rewarding as a whole. While there isn't much to it, it does offer a few nice aspects.
Let it swim.
For being one of the earliest shovelware games, I think, I'm not entirely sure if this is one of the first Shovelware games. Again, I'm not sure, but I feel like it is. Maybe, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong here. For what it is, it's very ahead of its time with its obby. The game is replicating the licensed game, and it is actually very impressive. It also has cutscenes, which is a foreign concept for many obbies at the time as well. Though my only issue with this game is that I wish that the game is shortened a bit, because this game, it takes around
20 minutes?
to finish the game. Well, on usual Shovelware games, it usually takes around like 5 minutes, I think. I don't know, I don't do the math here, but
Considering that this game, unlike Despicable Me Forces, which we'll talk about later, has no saving points. Well, it does have checkpoints, but no saving points, meaning that if you want to beat the game, you have to beat it entirely. There's no save points.
for being a SpongeBob fan-made project, it serves as a blueprint of future Shovelware Studios' video games later on.
You're a bastard, Mr. Green.
Okay, I know not everyone is going to agree with this, but I have such fond memories and such a soft spot for this game. Just the comedic inserts are just hilarious. When you go to the station, to your regular world, just regular Christmas music, until you go to the battlefield and intense music comes around. Elves beg for money to build a Santa robot to destroy the Grinch. Also, I think the dancing banana is just plotting something sinister. I don't know.
No one will ever know!
And I mean, if you really think about it, Susie Lou is in this cutscene with the Grinch. So meaning that the Grinch has already redeemed himself by now. Does that mean that we're the villains of the story? Why am I giving this channel a theory? I may not be too much of a tycoon guy, but in this case, I argue this is where it went right. The money isn't too expensive, but at the same time, it's not too cheap either. So in that way, it doesn't feel like you're not progressing in Roblox and tycoon games. And I just really like the much more faster pacing with the game, and just makes it an easy, outgoing tycoon Christmas game. Take notes, tycoon games, take notes. I don't know, I think it is just the Christmas aspect, and I have fond memories for it. Well, it's not the only Christmas Roblox game I have fond memories, though that maybe gets its own video someday of my experience, but who knows. Nevertheless, I think this is probably one of my favorite tycoon games so far. And I just think like the Santa robot itself is so cool to me. Like, the Santa robot just gives me such Pacific Rim vibes, and I absolutely all in for it. I love it, this design of Santa robot.
Halloween is cancelled, and everything's better for me.
Also me!
Oh, you ruin everything.
Oh yeah?
Knuckles, I got nothing.
Spooky Pants 2 Halloween is just kind of more of a spin-off, if I had to be honest. It doesn't really feel like a sequel in a way. Well, kind of similar to this Halloween TV special. So, the plot is that Turbo Toilet has returned somehow and want to revenge the soul of it. So it's up to you to find Turbo Toilet, well, destroy him, and revive Captain Underpants because he turned evil somehow. For a Halloween game, I love the aesthetic for it, particularly where the room of he sees you used to actually scare the shit out of me as a kid, but I guess that's kind of the magic for this game. And I also love the little detail where after you get all the sweets, Melvin straight up steals all your sweets.
Moment, please.
I don't he just straight up stole your candy. Straight up stole your sweets. Melvin is an absolute bastard.
Another high score. I'm the best.
It's literally the same game as Captain Underpants Obby, but with a different coat of paint. I know what you're thinking, that wow, that sounds like a really bad game, it's terrible. Then why rank it so high on the list? That's because, dear viewer, it's a good game, matter of fact. Though again, keep in mind that this game exists because, well, back then the studio got shut down because of copyright. So I can't stay mad at this game. I really like a lot of the fluid animations, and I really like the character dynamics, and I also really love a lot of the attention to detail with like the animations all around the world. And hold on, wait a minute. Is that the guy with the bad haircut? I'm not that familiar with him, but anyway. But with that said, despite I will say that this game is an improvement, I mean, for crying out loud, that pipe part in the original one is so difficult for absolutely no reason. But again, I just still prefer the Captain Underpants one. Now, I'm not just going to moan about it's the old good, modern bad bullshit. That's not my point. What I am saying is that both games are good in their own right, in their own gameplay, in their own graphics and visuals, etc. It's just that I prefer Captain Underpants, though that's mainly because of the double jump. For some reason in this game, it gives you a lot less momentum for some reason, and I don't understand that. And for the most part, I don't even use the double jump because it's causing me more problems than helping me. Another thing is just that Captain Underpants is just much more memorable, and it's probably also the ending part where I prefer the Captain Underpants part. I think I just prefer the setting of the game personally. And it's just that you could go through other games and interact with other people with the speeches. In Shrunken the School Obby, you can't. You just can't dance around. It's funny and all, but not much to interact with. Oh yeah, you could also do like a speed run, but I don't really care for much for that. Shrunken School Obby, I do consider it a good game, despite being another clone. Which, speaking of Captain Underpants, sadly, there's no official license for a Captain Underpants video game. Well, not including the Dogman game. But even then, the only game, Captain Underpants game we only have is that DVD Flash game.
Underpants, Underpants, I like Captain Underpants, 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 hooray, Captain Underpants.
But fortunately, there's fans out there. And Shovelware Studios brought us Captain Underpants Obby, and it was an legit banger. This game is just straight right up my alley. The plot of Professor Poopy Pants shrinking down the school Obby to gain power, and it's up to you, the sidekick, to overthrow him with the guitar by Frozen Mr. Krabs. It is so ridiculous, it's amazing. Like, the plot of the game feels straight out of a Captain Underpants storyline, and it just works so perfectly well. And to me, the game perfectly captures the Captain Underpants aesthetic to it. And there's just a lot of like hilarious stuff just thrown into the game, such as the quiz part and the Sonic Speed gimmick of the game. It just works so well with its presentation alone. And there's also like so much like reference to the books. Monster Cafeteria Women, Turbo Toilet himself, of course. They also have unlicensed Weird Al. Badass! And in my opinion, this game holds up very well. And if there's like any of you Captain Underpants fan who haven't played this game, you must play this game. This game is great.
Minions! Tonight, we steal the moon!
Despicable Me Forces is literally Sonic Forces, but better in every way. I really love the plot that Mel, instead of using minions from the third film, he uses his own power and force with the other villains so he could take over the world. As Gru, to his surprise, as it clearly established at the start that Gru does in fact care about his minions, while Mel turn against him and put him in a bubble ship. And this game is just oozing with personality, which Sonic Forces clearly lacks. And this game has like so much more interesting level designs than Sonic Forces. I mean, this game has reused green hills for like the 1000th time. We don't need another one. But this game takes like so many like Despicable Me and some Sonic aspect like the casino part. You have to go through the entire game and fight all of the bosses. And at the end, you have to go into this giant minion suit and destroy the giant Mel that's destroying the city. And at the end, the ending is just so wholesome as Gru finds Mel and hugs him. It's just so wholesome. And if you don't think that's enough, there's also a lot of concept art and episode Drew as well, which is the same game but even harder. Like, there's like so much content in this game, and I love it for what it is. In fact, it's kind of ironic that this game, made by a few people, is somehow so much better than the game made by 1,000 of people. Just the amount of homages to Despicable Me as a franchise, and just the amount of epic cutscenes and interesting level designs, and perfectly replicating of Sonic's energy of speed and momentum. And also makes up with the wasted potential of both Despicable Me, well, the third film, and Sonic Forces. Mash them together and you get an excellently crafted game with good gameplay and an engaging plotline. If you are new around Roblox, I would recommend playing this game. Even if you're not a Sonic fan, at least you would get the idea of a Sonic game would feel and play like. And this game perfectly captures it. Despicable Me Forces is a great game. There we have it. Shovelware's Brain Game. This game is full of charm, charisma, and would you look at that? They brought back Dancing Banana as the main host. In this game, they'll just throw you a bunch of series of questions throughout the game. This game challenges your intelligence, how much you know well. Even how much you know well about the studio itself in one of the sections. And this game is just hilarious. The Family Guy one. And there's just so many fluid animations. It's both very impressive and visually appealing. Both the game and character designs. And not to mention the hidden Easter eggs. Like the Donkey Kong version of it and would you look at that? It's the checkpoint. It really does feel like this game you're walking through a wonderland. And I can confidently say that
is a modern classic.
And it shows how far this studio has come. That's a celebration to its Dancing Banana memes and human culture. If I have to sum up Shovelware Studios with one word, it would be diligent. Just the early efforts, they were just copying whatever that's popular around the time, which ironically become good games, but then, even when all hope seems lost for them, they manage to step back up, which you cannot even say for most Roblox users. And that's why there would never, ever be another Roblox group like Shovelware Studios. So, thanks for watching and for sticking by with me, and I hope you all have a good day.